This is one of the craziest off-road travel trailers I've ever seen. From the articulating hitch to the fully independent suspension setup, this thing can go pretty much anywhere. And today we're gonna check it out. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Drew. If you're not new here, it's been a little while since I've done one of these videos. Today we're taking a look at this 22-foot Active Storm built here in Australia by Active Caravans. And if you know anything about Australia, they have some of the most aggressive off-roading equipment available anywhere. So I am super excited to bring this to you guys today. Now, fair warning, I'm a Canadian guy and this is my first time in Australia checking out these caravans, so I don't know very much about any of these brands. So if at any point in this video I say something wrong or there's stuff that I skipped over, please let me know in the comments and share that value with everybody else watching. Now, without further ado, let's head on outside and check this thing out. So starting off at the A-frame of the trailer, up front here, we have what's called a DO35 coupling. And anytime you see a coupling like this on a trailer, you know it's for off-road because these two pieces here are articulating pieces. Above it is something I haven't actually seen yet on anything in North America. It's like a little e-brake handle. So this is tied directly to all of the wheels with a cable. Anytime that's pulled up, everything's going to be locked up. So this isn't going to be rolling around on you. Above that, of course, you have your tongue jack. That's pretty traditional across the board. Here in Australia, they have a 12-pin wiring harness instead of a 7-pin like I'm used to back home. And then of course, a trail-safe breakaway cable here. If this breaks off while you're towing, it's going to lock up all the brakes behind you. This is one of the most significant signs that this is probably an off-grid trailer. So up front here, we have a huge rock guard, and then it even has rock tamers, or what I call rock tamers, down below, or a big mud flap. Behind that, you're gonna have two 20-pound propane tanks. And then one of the best parts about anything up front here is this lockable toolbox. So on one side, this side over here, you have one cavity that's just for throwing things in. That could be tools or anything else that you're bringing along with you while you're camping. And on this side, you have 2 points of access to this cavity. So one is gonna be from above, like you see here, and two is gonna be through this door right here. And in here is a slide-out tray where you can put a mini generator. That's pretty cool. On either side of the lockbox, you do have these little bins, and that's designed there for if you have jerry cans. So if you're bringing gas or diesel with you, depending on the generator type or any toys you're hauling with you, you can keep your jerry cans locked away on the side of the toolbox. And then you'll notice that they have diamond plating all the way up to almost halfway up the trailer, and that goes all the way around. I should be saying caravan. They say caravan here in Australia. Now above here, this is one of the biggest pass-through storage trays I've ever seen. Something I love about this is that it's finished in stainless steel on all 4 sides. So what that means is it's going to be weatherproof, it's durable, and it's super easy to clean. And all of those things are super important if you're going off-roading in something like this. Down here, this little opening is for your freshwater fill. It actually has a lockable cap, which I like. Not many trailers that I see have lockable caps, so that's kind of a nice feature to have. And then of course, you're going to see these 2 massive tires. And on this trailer, what are these things? So they're a Mud Legend tire, E-rated, and it's a 285/75 R16, rated for mud and snow. This is a massive, massive tire. And underneath is arguably the most important part of this trailer, which is the Cruisemaster XT coilover suspension, which means all 4 tires have an independent suspension running on coils and twin G35 Cruisemaster shocks. Just past the wheels here, we have your shore power hookup, and then you have a breaker switch here as well. I don't know what this breaker is for. I'll have to look into it. If you know what the breaker is for, you can let me know in the comments, but I have no idea what that's for. Not yet anyway. Okay, so down here is where we get into the heart of the beast. So this trailer has 3 100 amp lithium ion batteries, and they're all stored behind these little covers. I have one thing about these though. It's nice that it's super accessible and easy to get to the batteries, but it's bad in a way where I'm from, normally the first thing to get stolen off a trailer are the batteries. And if you know anything about lithium ion batteries, these things are not cheap. So the first thing I would do is put some sort of lock on each of these doors to prevent any theft, or at least deter the theft. Connected to these 3 batteries are 3 170-watt solar panels on the roof as well. So with those solar panels and the lithium-ion batteries, you can go pretty much anywhere and not have to worry about anything. But make sure you put locks on these, because if I was a thief, I would steal these. Just saying. All right, finally at the back corner here, you have access to your Thetford cassette toilet. So this trailer does not have a black tank, which means you're gonna be dealing with your own sewage. So bear that in mind. Latches down, and then everything can be locked up. Cool. At the back end, you get a spare tire, and this seems to be a pretty solid rear bumper, so you could probably sit a bike rack or something else on here if you really wanted to. In here, I don't have the key. I don't know exactly what this is. Up top, again, you got a nice big LED light, and then you do have a rear backup camera on this one as well. All right, as we round the corner here, you're gonna see a massive awning. This does run pretty much the full length of the trailer from all the way in the back here to pretty well all the way in the front. One of my favorite features about the door area is it has this door handle on the side, so when you're hopping up into the trailer, you can kind of support yourself. But not only that, it has this little button right at your thumb where you can press it and turn it on for an LED light. So if it's dark out, you can turn this on as you're entering the trailer, just so you can see the steps and everything around you and get inside safely. And again, unfortunately, because I don't have the keys, I can't open this. I think this is where the barbecue is gonna be, the outside kitchen. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think that's what it is. Moving on down the line here, we have a big Fusion outdoor speaker. This speaker system actually has 3 zones. I did test them when I was inside the trailer earlier, and they do sound like pretty good speakers. Next to the speakers, you have a little housing for your TV mount. So if you're the kind of family that camps with TVs outside, which I am not, but some of you are, you have access to it right here, and it's all finished in a marine carpet as well. Just up top here is another, I think this is a shore power plug-in. This is the confusing part for me. You have one on this side and one on the opposite side. However, this side is the female end and the other side is the male end. So I don't know why that is and why you need two, but if you know in the comments, please let me know. And then as we head back towards the front, this is your LP Quick Connect. This is where if you do have an outdoor barbecue, you can just hook it in right here, and that's gonna run off of your main gas supply. This is another new one for me. So the door latch is this little metal hoop, and the door latch backing is on the caravan right here, and it latches in place. This design is way better than what I'm used to back home. Usually it's that little plastic post that sits into a plastic receiver. This is all metal, and it seems way more durable. Like that's not gonna be busting off anytime soon. So I wish that was something that we could adapt back in North America. All right, let's go take a look inside. All right. Welcome to the inside of the Active Storm 22. Okay, so at the front door here, there's nothing really special about the front door. You have a nice screen door, you have a little roller shade that blacks out the light. But one of the things I've missed about many of the RVs back home is the wasted opportunity for storage space in and around the door. And this is what I mean. Above the door here, they've added a nice cushion pocket where you can throw anything from books, keys, phones, wallets, or anything that would really fit in that space. And then alongside here, many of the RVs back home don't even have hooks to hang your coat here. This oftentimes is just a blank wall left open with nothing on it. Here, they've added a couple pouches where you can actually, again, put little books or keys or anything you might have that doesn't really have a space, which I think is the best use of this space. I love seeing that. All the North American brands, you guys are lacking. Above me here in the entrance, you do have a little shaded overhead window. So that window will pop open, or you can remove the blackout shade like I just did, and you can have lots of light coming in. And in addition to that, they have LED lights running all the way around this. So if you wanted everything shut, or it's nighttime and you don't have a well-lit area right here, you can just turn those lights on, and then you have lots of light in this area as well. That's cool. I've never seen that before either. The bathroom actually has a really good amount of space. I'm 6'4", I still have plenty of headroom. I have plenty of room to move around. The space around the toilet isn't huge, so if you're a wider person, that might get a little bit uncomfortable, but it's not bad in my opinion. Above the toilet here, you have a nice little window. You do have a fan, and around this fan, again, they have that LED light ring, which I really like. I've never seen that before in Canada. Behind me is a nice walk-in shower. It's got a frosted glass door, and then nothing special here, but it's gonna be a one-piece fiberglass shower. I think that's a porcelain sink. Ooh, we got water in the tanks. You do have plugs on the wall up here and light switches. It's kind of weird that they have the plugs all the way up there on the wall. I don't know why they're closer down here. It might be because they're not GFCI plugs, so they have to be a certain distance from water. Maybe that's it. I'm not up to building code in Australia, so if you know the reason for the plugs being so high on the wall, please let me know in the comments. Beneath the sink here, you got lots of space for toiletries, towels, or anything else. One thing I did notice, and this speaks to the build quality in here, is that the plumbing is plumbed in a way that it's maximizing the space, the storage space that you have. What I mean is, in lots of trailers I've seen, when you have a sink, underneath the sink you have the plumbing in a cupboard usually, and that plumbing more often than not runs straight down, which means it completely limits how you can store things underneath the sink because of that plumbing line. Here what they've done is they've ran a 90-degree elbow to push the plumbing to the corner of the cupboard. That way it allows for maximum space beneath the sink. And I noticed at the bottom here, they actually notched out some of the wood in order to allow that plumbing to continue in a straight line. It's kind of depressing to say, but I don't know of any brand who will actually take the time to notch out wood and run plumbing the way I see it here. And it's refreshing. Thank you, Australia. Just to the right of the toilet, you get another big storage bay up here. And then one of my favorite parts about this trailer is down below this storage, you actually get a washing machine. Now, obviously, if you have a washing machine, that's going to be taking away from your fresh water supply. But in the event that you need a washing machine, it's nice to have a washing machine. And of course, we're in Australia, so you can wash it in here and you can hang dry it outside. And within 30 to 60 seconds, your clothes will be dry. Okay, let's move on. Coming out of the bathroom, on your right, you're gonna have your fridge and freezer. At first glance, this looks like electric only. I don't think you're gonna be using gas as well. So it looks like a one-way fridge. On the left-hand side of the fridge, you have this really big storage cabinet. So this is interesting. They have these little shelving units that slide out. It's almost like a spice rack. Okay. These can be removed, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, perfect. So you can remove those shelves and then you have access to just the entire storage spot, pretty much. Just below the fridge, they do have a nice big slide out drawer as well. All right, now for the kitchen. This is one of my favorite places in this trailer, and we're gonna start off right here. One of the nicest things about this kitchen, and I haven't seen this in any of the North American brands, they've recessed the oven and the stovetop so that they can install a hinge on a portion of this counter and cut it out so that it hinges up. And on the stovetop, you have 3 gas burners and then an electric burner as well. But having this countertop finished the way it is, it allows for way more usable prep space instead of putting things on a glass cooktop. And just aesthetically, it looks way better. And then below the range here, we have a little gas grill, and then you have a full oven below it as well. Moving forward, you get a nice big sink. I'm a big fan of having 2 sinks. I like to be able to rinse stuff and then wash it. I think that's just preference. This works just fine. And the faucet, I noticed, you have one nozzle that's gonna be just your fresh water coming out, and then you have a second smaller nozzle that's designed for drinking water. So you have a separate water filter just below here, and that's gonna filter just the drinking water. Above the kitchen sink, they have a nice big window. What I love about these windows is that you can open them and then they pop out like that. It's like an awning style window. Most of the stuff I see back home is still that sliding window design, which works, but I like this better. In addition to that, you have a couple options here for closing the window off. One is a screen, which you can pull over so you don't have bugs or anything coming inside. And then the other one, if you just pull it up, is a blackout shade. Above the counter, you do get a microwave right on the side here. And then above, you get a bunch of storage. And the storage in here is actually pretty impressive. It goes a ways back, so you can actually fit a full-size dinner plate in here. In addition to that, you can take out the top drawer. So if you just need to put like larger storage or a crock pot, or do people actually camp with a crock pot? If you camp with a crock pot, let me know. I would just never camp with a crock pot. Probably because I don't know how to cook. Something I find a little bit confusing about this setup, it's got 2 plugins inside of the cabinet. And I don't know why, because on the right side against the far wall there, the plugs are located on the wall. But these ones are underneath the cabinet. And for me, if I'm here and I need access to those while I'm cooking, I'm gonna be hitting my head on this cabinet door that's open. So I don't know why they're there. And in my opinion, if you can wire 2 plugins there, you can wire 2 plugins here. So I don't know why they're there. If you know, once again, let me know in the comments, but that seems to be a very strange spot to be putting 2 plugins. Underneath the sink, you have lots of storage space. One more cabinet over, you got lots of space in here too. And then you get 3 drawer slides that slide all the way out, giving you plenty of additional storage space. One more thing that I actually haven't mentioned about the construction of this trailer is that all of the cabinets and everything built inside is actually built out of plywood. So none of that MDF or particle board, it's actual solid plywood on everything that I've seen. Across from the kitchen, we have this big U-shaped dinette. The dinette it feels like a catskin leather, so it's that really durable leather. One thing that's very cool about this, and I've never seen before, is that this has that automotive style headrest. So this is actually gonna be able to pop up. So you can pop that up and have like a little head stop there. Along both sides of the dinette, you have these little LED lights as well, which you can turn on and off. And then this table is a very cool table. So you have a little release on the corner where my left hand is, and this will slide forward and back, and then up and down, and then it can rotate as well. So you can literally put this table in any position that you want or out of the way and use it as is. And it looks like it's on a telescoping base as well. So I'm assuming you can push it down and pull it back up as well. And then underneath the table, you have a USB plug-in, you have a power outlet, and then on opposite sides of the bench, you have little storage trays that fold out. In addition to those slide outs, you also get under seat storage. Now, similar to the cabinets in the kitchen, you also have overhead cabinets over here above the dinette. And then this is where you're gonna have your battery and solar and tank monitoring all in this panel. This is something I've never seen before in Canada, so I'll have to do a little bit more research on exactly what all this does and what it controls. In the bedroom, so very simple traditional layout. You have a queen size bed in the middle, storage surrounding, and then you do get, similar to what's in the kitchen right above where the fridge is, you have an overhead window that pops open, you have a little blind on there, and then of course the privacy blackout curtain, and then the LED light strip all the way around, which I really like. On each side of the bed, you get a taller cabinet that opens. They also have these little LED lights in here and then plugs in there as well. So if you sleep with a CPAP machine, you can sit in here, plug it in, and away you go. Above the bed on either side, you have the overhead storage as well, which again gives you plenty of space to put clothing. And in addition to those, you also have a small drawer on each side of the bed as well. Above the bed itself, you have a nice cushioned headboard and then reading lamps on either side. And then probably one of the best features I've ever seen inside of a bedroom, and that's this little light switch right here. What this does is in the middle of the night, when I'm sleeping here with my wife and I have to get up and use the bathroom, I don't want to have to turn on the lights, which is going to wake her up. So this light, what it allows me to do is I can flick it on, which turns on the bathroom light. So from here, I can switch that on. It lights up the trailer enough so I can see my way to the bathroom and I can get there without waking up my wife. That is a brilliant design. Another really great design that I've seen in here are these two 12-volt fans. This is something I strongly believe every single travel trailer should have. This is a great way to move hot air out of the trailer and is something I think every single travel trailer should have at bare minimum an option to install. Of course, underneath the bed, you do have storage as well. This is very similar to what you'd find in most travel trailers. Something else I forgot to mention about the build quality in here is that the ceiling and I believe the sidewalls as well, they're all built from fiberglass. Normally, what I'm used to back home is seeing a Luan board on the ceiling and Luan board on the walls. And the difference between the two is Luan board is a wood fiber and fiberglass is not. And we all know if wood gets wet, it starts to rot. If fiberglass gets wet, it wicks away. So the build quality in here is way better than what I've seen back home, and having a fiberglass finished inside is a much better design over the traditional Luan board. Okay, that's all I got for you today, guys. But what do you think of this thing? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That's gonna really help to push this video out to more people. Also, I'm currently in Melbourne, Victoria here in Australia, and if you're from around these parts and you have a cool off-road rig, a tiny home, or a cool RV, please let me know and reach out to me. I'd love to see what you have and I'd love to make a video review of it. But as for me, that's all I got for you today, guys. It feels so good to be back making these videos for all of you. So thanks so much for watching and I will see you guys in the next video.